A great camera can feel like a toy with a bad lens, whereas a cheap camera can feel pro with an expensive lens. So then, how do you pick the right lens without wasting your money? First off, just to clear up some terminology, a prime lens has a fixed focal length. You cannot zoom it. These are usually the sharpest, brightest, and cheapest for what you get. On the other hand, a zoom lens is pretty self-explanatory. It zooms. These are going to be less bright and often more expensive, but allows you to explore more focal ranges. I started out my lens journey with the FujiFilm 18-55. This is the kit lens that came with my Fuji X-T3, and it's actually what I'm recording this video with right now. When I was using that lens as my only lens, I found that I kept sticking to just 18mm and 55. So basically, all the way zoomed out or all the way in. Not really much of the in-between focal lengths. So this kind of taught me what focal lengths I was drawn to. I would recommend not just going out and buying a expensive prime lens just to hope it works. Instead, just use the kit lens that you probably already have and explore locking it at different focal ranges and just see which one works best for you. Then go out and buy your prime lenses. As a rule of thumb, don't spend more than 15 to 20% of your current savings on camera gear, and only spend that money when you know for sure that what you're getting is something that you're actually going to use. Lenses are investments, but only if you actually use them. Speaking of using, you should usually buy used. Pretty much just forget buying new lenses unless it's a third-party brand and it'll go really hard at the price it's already set at. Usually, lenses are just way more expensive brand new than they are on eBay or Facebook Marketplace. You can save a ton of money by going the used route. A lot of people are scared off by used lenses, but all of my lenses are used and they're all wonderful. Also, sites like eBay and Facebook Marketplace allow you to look at older lenses like vintage glass, which we'll talk more about later. Remember the concept of prime lenses? That's where you'll really get wide aperture. A wider aperture means a lower f number. This is f1.8 and this is f16. When your aperture is wider, the image becomes brighter. This is great for portraits and dramatic shots because of the shallow depth of field that it creates. This thing right here is a 25mm f1.8 manual focus prime lens, and the photos you get out of it are awesome for it being under $100. This right here is Fujifilm's 35mm f1.4, so it's super bright. And this is just magical, and most of that is due to that wide aperture. But keep in mind, for some applications, you don't really need a wide aperture. For example, with video work, all you really need is good autofocus, a decent zoom range, and OIS, optical image stabilization. This is a big deal for handheld video. It'll get rid of all those micro jitters that your hands have. This Fujifilm 55 to 200mm has it built in, and I can switch it on and off right here on the lens. Some lenses are essentially featureless, whereas some lenses have a couple key features that can really help you out. As I mentioned, OIS is very important for video. An aperture ring can also make for a more tactile and fast experience rather than using a back dial on your camera. And weather resistance, or WR, is great for outdoor shooters, but not really essential for everyone. If you live in a dry climate that doesn't have a lot of dust floating around or anything like that, then just skip weather resistance unless it just happens to come with the lens you're buying. Now, before we go on to the next section, I need to clear something up. All of these focal lengths that I've been talking about are kind of lies. It depends on your sensor size. I use APS-C or crop sensor cameras, which have a 1.5x crop over a full frame sensor. This basically means that when I use a 50mm lens like this one, I'm actually shooting at about 75mm full frame equivalent. Instead, my 35mm Fuji lens is an actual nifty 50 focal range. Also, just to make things even harder, some people use micro four thirds sensor cameras which have a 2x crop factor. That means a 50mm lens would be 100mm. I know, math isn't really my strong suit either, but that's the life we live. Vintage lenses can offer amazing value and unique rendering. These are generally a great way to get hella high quality images for really cheap. The only problem is they're often kinda heavy and require adapting, which adds some length to your lens. If you want something a little bit more modern, you can look into third-party lenses like this 7 Artisans or this TTartisan's lens. These can offer wonderful value, and you can get them on Amazon, so you don't have to worry about returns if you don't like it. This TTartisan's 56mm f1.8 has great autofocus and costs around $150. People are not going to notice that I'm using this TTartisan's lens versus my FujiFilm when I show them how great the photos look. Watch out though, because some third-party budget lenses are going to disappoint you in their image quality, and just a general rule of thumb for all lenses is that you need to do your research before you buy it. Make sure it's the right fit for you, because every lens has compromises. This one, for example, has a very dark aperture, but it's also extremely compact. The last tip I want to give is that you should challenge yourself. Using something like a 55-200 can be really easy because you can just zoom freely without even moving yourself in the scene. But if you get something like a 35mm prime or a 50mm prime, you're going to be a lot more challenged to be creative with your composition. You may need to let more things into your frame, which makes you think more about how every single thing works together to tell a story. So as a recap, you should start cheap. Start with your kit lens and learn the right focal lengths for you. Never buy based on hype for new lenses unless you have the budget. 15 to 20% of your savings should be a general rule of thumb for what you can afford. Also, learn to accept off-brand or vintage lenses. Yeah, they're cheap and you kind of get what you pay for, but they can be amazing fun and they can still produce beautiful images. Lenses don't have to be expensive to be great. They just have to be right for you.